The solar system had always seemed quiet. From Earth, humans looked at the stars and imagined countless worlds, but few could imagine that those worlds were already full of life, civilizations far older and far larger than humanity. They thought of the stars as endless and free, but they were wrong. For centuries, humans had sent small probes into the galaxy, learning silently, observing, recording. The universe had watched back. Many species, far more advanced than humans, had taken notice of Earth. Some saw potential. Some saw danger. Most simply ignored the small blue planet. Then came the message. It did not arrive in the form of a gentle signal or a peaceful invitation. It was a declaration, formal and unyielding, from the Galactic Coalition, a council of the galaxy's strongest and most advanced civilizations. They demanded tribute. The communication arrived through every major channel simultaneously. Starships, satellites, and planetary communication networks received the same message. Humanity of Earth, you are now part of the younger races. You are required to send tribute to the coalition. Resources, technology, and obedience are expected. Failure to comply will result in consequences. You have 1 Earth year to respond. No one on Earth could believe it at first. Tribute, obedience, consequences? The words echoed across government halls, universities, and media stations alike. Humanity had never faced anything like this. The world paused. In New York, in a United Nations command center orbiting Earth, representatives from every nation gathered. Holograms of the message floated in the air above the conference table, glowing with a faint blue light. Leaders looked at each other with wide eyes. Scientists whispered among themselves, some with fear, some with excitement. Tribute? Asked Ambassador Suresh, India's representative. We have nothing they would want. Not fuel, not technology, not even ships that can leave the solar system in any reasonable time. Perhaps they mean loyalty, said Ambassador Anders from Germany. They want us to submit. It is a test of obedience. Dr. Elena Ramirez, a physicist working on human interstellar research, shook her head. No, this is not a test of obedience. It is a challenge. They want to see how we react, how we adapt. Humanity can respond, but not with fear. The room fell silent. Nobody wanted to imagine defying the galaxy's most powerful council. But Ramirez's words hung in the air like a spark in darkness. Outside the conference center on the planet below, humans watched the skies. Rumors spread on news channels and social media. Fleets of massive ships approaching the solar system, glowing like moons with strange energy signatures. The fleet was enormous. Dozens of ships bigger than the largest human orbiting stations, armed with weapons that humans could not even begin to understand. Yet, despite the fear, a strange feeling stirred in humanity's hearts. It was curiosity. It was pride. It was the first real test for a species that had long dreamed of the stars. Within weeks, Earth prepared. Scientists, engineers, diplomats, and military leaders worked side by side. The first step was observation. Human telescopes and satellites scanned the incoming fleet. They discovered something remarkable. The alien ships did not move randomly. They arranged themselves in precise formations like a chessboard in orbit. Every movement seemed deliberate. Every pause calculated. Dr. Ramirez watched the screens in awe. They are powerful, she admitted. But they underestimate us. Every system we develop, every idea we create is unpredictable to them. We must use that. The United Nations voted unanimously to respond, but not with tribute. Instead, humanity would send an answer that reflected its spirit. Ingenuity, courage, and unity. A small fleet of Earth ships, led by the new Starship Pioneer, was prepared to greet the alien armada. But the answer would not be physical. It would be a message, a statement, a declaration of what humanity was capable of. When the day came, the alien fleet arrived in the inner solar system. Jupiter's orbit became crowded with massive ships that shimmered like liquid metal under the sunlight. Humans watched from Earth and from space stations, holding their breath. The coalition had expected fear. They had expected compliance. Instead, Ambassador Ramirez, chosen as Earth's lead envoy, activated the communication channel. A holographic image of her appeared before the alien commanders, projected onto their largest command ship. Representatives of the Galactic Coalition, she said clearly, her voice steady. We have received your demand for tribute. Humanity does not offer obedience. Humanity does not submit to fear. Humanity offers something far more valuable: our creativity, our innovation, and our courage. You asked for tribute. This is our answer. The alien fleet paused. Their ships emitted faint pulses, a language of light humans had yet to fully understand. Ramirez smiled slightly. They were surprised. That was good. Surprise was a weapon humans had long perfected. The first demonstration began with a series of human inventions. Earth's engineers sent small drones into the alien fleet. These drones were not armed, not destructive. They were brilliant in their design. Within minutes, they could repair damaged ships, reorganize energy systems, and even communicate with alien technology in ways the Coalition did not expect. Humans had adapted. Humans had learned. Humans had created solutions in real time that seemed impossible. The aliens watched in silence. Some shifted uneasily. Others glowed with a dim light that humans would later interpret as curiosity. The second demonstration focused on speed and adaptability. Human ships maneuvered through asteroid fields and radiation storms, completing maneuvers that the alien observers had considered impossible for a young species. Every move was precise. Every adjustment calculated yet executed with speed that shocked the Coalition commanders. On Earth, Dr. Ramirez and her team monitored every reaction. They had planned carefully, predicting alien responses, but even they were amazed at the effect. Across the solar system, sensors picked up signals. Alien communications had slowed. Their formations wavered. Humanity's answer was working, yet the humans knew this was only the beginning. The Coalition would not simply accept a show of creativity. They would test, challenge, and push humanity to its limits. And humanity had to be ready, not just to survive, but to impress, to change the galaxy's perception of what a young species could achieve. By the end of the first encounter, humanity had done more than just resist. They had shown potential, they had shown courage, and for the first time in history, humans realized that the galaxy was not a distant, untouchable place. It was within reach. In the quiet moments that followed, Ambassador Ramirez addressed her team aboard Pioneer. "This is not about submission," she said. "It is not about fear. The galaxy believes it can demand tribute, but tribute is more than material. It is respect. We will earn it, not by bowing, but by showing what it truly means to be human." Outside the ship, the alien fleet remained massive and silent, but no longer threatening. Humanity had answered the summons, not with fear, but with brilliance, and the stars themselves seemed to watch, waiting for what humans would do next. The first chapter of humanity's galactic story had begun. The solar system was quiet again, but only for a moment. Soon the trials would start. The Coalition would challenge Earth in ways no one had yet imagined. And humanity would rise not as a minor species, but as a force the galaxy could no longer ignore. And so, the summons that had seemed like a threat became a spark that would ignite courage, ingenuity, and unity across a planet. Humanity had learned the first lesson of the stars. The galaxy may ask, but humanity answers on its own terms. The solar system settled into an uneasy quiet after humanity's first answer. For the Coalition, it was unexpected. No young species had ever responded like this. The usual reactions were fear, compliance, or retreat. But humanity had shown boldness, creativity, and calm resolve. On Earth, celebrations were muted. Scientists and engineers knew this was only the beginning. Ambassador Ramirez, now considered the symbol of humanity's stance, met with a new council of experts. They were the brightest minds from every nation, physicists, engineers, strategists, and pilots, all tasked with one goal: turn humanity's response into proof of its power and value. "We impressed them," Ramirez said, her eyes scanning the council room. "But impressing is not enough. They will test us. They will demand solutions. They will try to see if we break under pressure." Dr. Ahmed, a young engineer from Egypt, leaned forward. "We have ideas, things they cannot predict. We can turn their test into our advantage." "Explain," Ramirez said. Ahmed pulled up a 3D hologram of the approaching alien fleet. "Our tribute does not need to be material. It can be our ingenuity. We can show them what humans can do in real time. We can solve problems they cannot even imagine. That will make them rethink their assumptions." The room hummed with excitement. For decades, humanity had prepared for space exploration, building ships, satellites, and stations. But this was different. The goal was not to explore or colonize. It was to demonstrate superiority through innovation, resourcefulness, and courage. Weeks passed, and the alien fleet remained near Jupiter. Their ships, enormous and intimidating, shimmered in sunlight as if daring humanity to act. The coalition had made it clear. Compliance would earn favor, refusal would lead to punishment. But no one on Earth wanted to bow. The first demonstration was simple but striking. Human engineers launched hundreds of small drones toward the alien fleet. The drones were unarmed and fragile, but they were intelligent. They moved in synchronized patterns, scanning alien ships, adapting instantly to changes, and demonstrating advanced problem-solving capabilities. From Earth, Dr. Ramirez and her team monitored the drone's every move. When one drone encountered an alien energy barrier, it did not stop. It analyzed, adapted, and found a way to bypass the barrier, feeding the solution to the others. Within minutes, the drones had performed repairs on minor malfunctions of the alien fleet, repairs that would have taken the coalition weeks. The aliens watched. For the first time, their ships paused as if confused. Light patterns rippled across their hulls, a form of communication humans could not yet decode. But the reaction was clear: surprise. Next came the human ships. The Pioneer, along with other vessels from Earth, executed complex maneuvers through the asteroid belts and radiation zones near Jupiter. They demonstrated agility, speed, and precision that the coalition had not expected. Captain Lin, commanding the Pioneer, directed her team with calm authority. "We move as one. We think as one. Every obstacle is a chance to show them what humans can do." The fleet moved like living organisms, adapting instantly to any change. When an asteroid shifted unexpectedly, ships adjusted their trajectory, conserving energy and maintaining formation. The coalition's observers aboard their enormous command vessels watched closely. "This is remarkable," one alien commander whispered through a translator. "They are fast, adaptive, unpredictable." Meanwhile, on Earth, the public watched the events unfold. People cheered as images of human ships maneuvering flawlessly in dangerous regions appeared on news feeds. Humanity was showing the galaxy that fear was not part of its makeup. Ingenuity was. But the humans knew the coalition would not be impressed by simple demonstrations forever. They needed something bigger, something that could not be ignored. That idea came from Dr. Ramirez herself. A hybrid project that combined artificial intelligence, quantum communication, and energy manipulation. The project was risky. If it failed, it could damage human ships and even provoke the coalition. But if it succeeded, it would redefine what a young species could achieve. Using the Pioneer as the command center, humans initiated the project. They launched a series of energy conduits designed to interact with the alien fleet's own systems. The conduits were powered by quantum resonance, a technology humans had only recently perfected. When activated, the conduits did not harm the alien ships. They improved their efficiency, repaired minor malfunctions, and demonstrated a level of cooperation that the aliens had not anticipated. On the coalition side, commanders were stunned. Their ships, massive and heavily armed, now moved more efficiently thanks to humans' intervention. Some ships emitted pulses of light, confusion, appreciation, or perhaps a mixture of both. The humans had turned a potential threat into an opportunity. "It is working," Dr. Ahmed said, his voice trembling with excitement. "We are showing them that humanity can create solutions in real time, under pressure, better than they expected." Humanity's ingenuity became the new tribute. The coalition could have demanded gold, fuel, or resources. Humanity offered something infinitely more valuable: adaptability, problem-solving, and creativity. But the demonstration was far from over. The next phase involved communication. Humans had developed a way to send messages across light years almost instantly, using quantum entanglement. This allowed the Pioneer to coordinate all Earth ships with perfect timing. In a synchronized display, human ships moved in patterns that illustrated complex mathematical and scientific principles. The formations were not just beautiful, they were functional. Energy fields were stabilized, minor asteroids were moved to safe positions, and even small alien probes were integrated into the display, showing humanity's ability to cooperate without coercion. The coalition fleet had never seen anything like this. Members whispered among themselves. The message was clear. Humans did not fear them, and humans could think faster and adapt better than most older species. Despite the success, humanity remained cautious. Ambassador Ramirez knew that admiration could quickly turn to challenge. The Coalition would not simply accept these demonstrations. They would push humanity further, testing endurance, creativity, and morality. "We have their attention," she said to her team. "Now we must prepare for the next stage. They will test us, and we must be ready. Every system, every idea, every human mind must be ready to respond." The humans also had to manage internal pressure. Not everyone agreed with the bold approach. Some political leaders argued for submission, fearing retaliation. Others feared that showing too much capability could provoke the Coalition. But the scientists and engineers, led by Ramirez and Ahmed, argued that hesitation would be seen as weakness. "Fear is their weapon," Dr. Ramirez reminded them. "We must not hand it to them. Our tribute is not obedience, it is our mind, our spirit, and our courage. That is what will earn respect." As days passed, the humans continued their displays. Small ships executed impossible maneuvers. Energy shields formed instantly to protect vulnerable points. Autonomous drones adapted to unforeseen challenges. Every action was carefully planned, yet executed with creativity that the Coalition could not predict. The effect on the aliens was immediate. Light patterns across their ships changed constantly, a sign of discussion and analysis. Some ships moved closer, as if observing more closely. Others retreated slightly, cautious but curious. Humanity's answer was working. On Earth, the public was captivated. News feeds and communication channels broadcast every movement. People cheered, debated, and imagined the possibilities. Humanity was no longer a quiet observer of the galaxy. It had announced its presence in a way that could not be ignored. By the end of the first month, the Coalition had begun formal communication with humanity. They requested explanations, analysis, and reasoning. Ambassador Ramirez, with her team, responded not with arrogance, but with confidence and clarity. Humanity explained its methods, its goals, and its philosophy. Every word reflected the human spirit: intelligence, courage, and empathy. In private, Ramirez confided to Dr. Ahmed, "They are learning something they never expected." They believed the galaxy's young species would be easy to control. They did not expect innovation, creativity, or moral clarity. "We are changing their assumptions." Ahmed nodded, a smile forming. "And this is only the beginning. Soon they will test us further. But we are ready." Humanity has always risen to challenges. Indeed, the human tribute was more than just an answer. It was a declaration. The galaxy had asked for tribute, expecting submission. Humanity had given ingenuity, courage, and collaboration. It was a gamble, but one that the humans had already begun to win. The stars above seemed to shimmer with possibility. The Coalition fleet, once a symbol of fear, had become a stage for humanity's brilliance. And humanity knew that the coming challenges would be even greater, but also that they had proven something essential. They were a species capable of greatness, not just survival. The solar system, quiet once again, awaited the next move. Humanity had sent its answer. The galaxy had watched. And now the true test of ingenuity, courage, and resolve was about to begin. The Coalition had observed humanity's displays of ingenuity and courage for weeks. They had expected fear, compliance, or hesitation. Instead, they saw a species that adapted faster, solved problems more creatively, and acted with confidence under pressure. But the Coalition was not known for leniency. Admiration alone would not satisfy them. They needed proof. Proof that humanity could survive challenges without faltering. The announcement came in the form of a formal transmission, reaching every human command center across Earth and orbiting stations. The message was clear: humanity of Earth, you have shown skill and creativity. Now you will undergo the trials of merit. These trials will measure strategy, adaptability, problem-solving, and the protection of sentient life under extreme conditions. Failure will be noted. You have 3 Earth months to prepare. The first trial begins immediately. Ambassador Ramirez gathered her team aboard the Pioneer, the flagship of humanity's fleet. Her eyes scanned the holographic display of the Coalition's proposed challenges. The trials were complex, spread across multiple star systems, each testing a different aspect of human capability. "The first trial," Ramirez said, pointing to the display, "is the maze of oracles. A region of space filled with unpredictable gravitational anomalies, radiation storms, and autonomous systems. We must navigate it, rescue stranded life forms, and complete a sequence of tasks under extreme time pressure. Dr. Ahmed rubbed his hands together. It is dangerous, yes. But it is also an opportunity. We can show them not just that we survive, but that we think, adapt, and protect life better than any older species. Captain Lin, commanding the Pioneer, nodded. Our fleet is ready. Every ship, drone, and crew member has been trained for maximum adaptability. We turn unpredictability into our advantage. Within hours, humanity's fleet entered the maze of oracles. The region of space was treacherous. Massive asteroids floated unpredictably. Gravitational wells twisted space itself, and sudden energy storms threatened to disable navigation systems. The Coalition had designed it to test every limit of endurance and intelligence. Human crews worked in perfect coordination. Pilots relied on AI-assisted navigation, scientists calculated shifting gravitational fields in real time, and engineers rerouted energy to shields and propulsion systems as needed. The humans moved with precision, adapting to dangers that would have destroyed any other species' fleet. Suddenly, a distress signal appeared. A stranded research vessel trapped near a gravitational rift, its life support failing. Rescue was optional in the trial, but failing to save it could impact humanity's evaluation. Captain Lin didn't hesitate. Prepare rescue drones, she ordered. We're bringing them out safely. Small drones launched from the fleet, weaving through shifting gravity and energy fields. They reached the vessel, stabilized it, and evacuated its crew using innovative magnetic tethers. Every maneuver required split-second calculations and improvisation, yet the drones executed flawlessly. Dr. Ramirez watched with satisfaction. The Coalition expects us to survive the maze. They do not expect us to save lives along the way. This will prove our unique value. The maze was only the first trial. As humans advanced, the Coalition introduced another challenge, a series of puzzles and strategic tests. Alien structures floated in orbit around distant planets, each designed to confound logic and predictability. Humans had to analyze, decode, and manipulate them without triggering defensive systems. Here, human creativity shone. Dr. Ahmed's team adapted quantum communication to synchronize human actions across multiple ships. Pilots worked with engineers to adjust trajectories and energy output in real time. Each solution was faster, more elegant, and more unexpected than the Coalition had predicted. Observers aboard the alien command ships emitted pulses of light that humans began to recognize as signs of analysis, frustration, and even admiration. Slowly, the Coalition realized that humans did not rely on sheer power. They relied on thinking, adapting, and working as one. Then came the most dangerous trial, the test of life. A populated star system was threatened by a rogue artificial intelligence, one that had gone out of control, endangering millions of sentient beings. The Coalition designed the test to measure not just survival, but ethics, strategy, and protection of others. Humanity could have ignored the system, choosing self-preservation. But Captain Lin and Ambassador Ramirez agreed. The protection of life was non-negotiable. This is our moment to show them what humans truly value, Ramirez said. The human fleet entered the system carefully. Rogue drones patrolled the planets. Energy surges threatened orbital stations, and AI-controlled defense systems reacted aggressively. The challenge was immense. Human engineers hacked the rogue systems using non-lethal methods to disable aggressive drones. Pilots coordinated evacuations of civilian ships. Scientists developed rapid shields and energy barriers to protect the planet's surface installations. Every human action was precise, calculated, and creative. Despite overwhelming odds, humanity succeeded. Millions of lives were saved. The AI neutralized without unnecessary destruction, and the system stabilized. The Coalition's observation ships recorded everything. They could not ignore what they had witnessed. Humans acted decisively, morally, and efficiently. Back aboard the Pioneer, the team celebrated quietly. They knew the trials were far from over, but humanity had made its mark. Dr. Ahmed said, "They wanted to test us. We have shown not just survival, but strategy, morality, and ingenuity. They cannot dismiss this." Ambassador Ramirez addressed the fleet. "This is what it means to be human. We adapt. We think. We care. We face challenges head-on. This is our answer to the galaxy's expectations." As the fleet moved to the next trial, the Coalition's attitude began to shift. Initially, they had assumed humans would fail, or at best survive by luck. But each trial showed not chance but skill, intelligence, and creativity. The aliens began to realize that humanity's strength was not in technology alone. It was in the human mind and spirit. In the quiet moments between trials, Ramirez reflected on the journey so far. Humanity had faced threats, dangers, and uncertainty, yet the species had grown stronger. Each challenge taught coordination, resilience, and innovative thinking. Each success built confidence that would be vital for the trials ahead. Meanwhile, the Coalition debated among themselves. Their leaders could not deny the results. Humans had surpassed expectations not through brute force, but through adaptability and intellect. Some began to respect humanity. Others, prideful and cautious, insisted on increasing the difficulty of future trials. The humans did not know the details of the Coalition's next test. That uncertainty was the true challenge. Every step of the way they would have to rely on their ingenuity, teamwork, and courage. And yet humanity was ready. They had learned that unpredictability was not a threat, it was an opportunity. Captain Lin gave final orders before entering the next trial zone. Remember what we have learned. Every challenge is a chance to show what humans can do. We survive by thinking, by working together, and by protecting what matters most. Keep that in mind, and we will succeed. As the fleet moved toward the unknown, the stars around them seemed to shimmer with possibility. The galaxy had expected young species to bow, to fear, to fail. Humanity had shown something entirely different: intelligence, bravery, and moral clarity. The Coalition's first impression of humans had been one of curiosity. By the end of the first trials, that curiosity had turned into something else: respect, unease, and a realization that this species was unlike any other. Humanity had faced danger and unpredictability. They had adapted, innovated, and protected life. They had shown strategy, resourcefulness, and courage, and yet Ramirez knew that the hardest trials were still ahead. The fleet moved forward, confident but vigilant. The galaxy had set the stage for the next challenge, and humanity would rise to meet it. For the first time in interstellar history, a young species was rewriting the rules, not through submission or fear, but through ingenuity, morality, and unity. The stars above seemed to acknowledge humanity's progress. In the vastness of space, a small blue planet had begun to shine brighter than anyone had expected. Humanity's answer was not just survival, it was transformation, a new definition of strength that would echo across the galaxy. And so, part 3 of humanity's journey came to an end. They had faced the maze of oracles, solved strategic puzzles, and protected millions of lives. The Coalition had begun to see that humans were not just survivors. They were thinkers, innovators, and leaders in the making. The real trials were only beginning. But humanity was ready. The galaxy had been watching humanity closely. After the first trials, the Coalition had realized something extraordinary. Humans were unlike any other young species. They did not rely on sheer strength, nor did they blindly follow orders. They adapted, they created, and they protected life even when it was not required. But admiration was only part of the story. The Coalition could not let a young species act so boldly without testing them further. They devised the next challenge, one that would push humanity's ingenuity, strategy, and diplomacy to the limit. The message arrived suddenly, reaching every major human command center and orbiting station. Humanity of Earth, you have proven creativity and courage. Now you face the crucible of diplomacy. A crisis has emerged in the Orion sector. A rogue entity threatens a populated star system. You must resolve the crisis, protect life, and cooperate with alien civilizations under observation. Your success will define your place in the galaxy. Ambassador Ramirez called an emergency council aboard the Pioneer. This is the moment to show not just skill but leadership, she said. The crucible of diplomacy will test our ability to coordinate, negotiate, and act decisively. This is bigger than any trial before. Dr. Ahmed leaned forward, pointing at the holographic map of the Orion sector. The rogue entity is an advanced AI controlling a fleet of automated ships. It is unpredictable and highly adaptive. Civilizations in the sector are at risk. If we fail, millions of lives could be lost and the Coalition will judge us harshly. Captain Lin nodded. We do not just fight. We coordinate, we negotiate, we save lives. Every crew, every ship, every human mind is part of this solution. Humanity does not leave anyone behind. The fleet moved swiftly into the Orion sector. The challenge was immediately clear. Rogue ships moved in complex patterns, attacking settlements and forcing evacuations. Alien civilizations, initially hostile to humanity, were struggling to manage the crisis. Humanity's first step was coordination. Using quantum entanglement communication systems, the Pioneer linked with allied fleets, sharing real-time data, predicting movements, and creating safe corridors for evacuation. Humans and aliens began working together, a sight that astonished coalition observers. Dr. Ramirez oversaw the strategy. We need to protect the civilians first, then neutralize the rogue AI. Use non-lethal measures wherever possible. Show the coalition that humans value life above all else. The human fleet split into teams. Pilots evacuated civilians from planetary orbits while drones stabilized energy fields. Engineers hacked rogue ships to disrupt their coordination without causing harm. Scientists developed adaptive shields that could protect settlements from attacks in unpredictable ways. It was a race against time. The AI adapted quickly, learning from every move. But humanity adapted faster. Using pattern recognition and predictive algorithms, humans anticipated attacks and redirected resources before threats could materialize. Meanwhile, Ambassador Ramirez led diplomatic negotiations. Some alien fleets had been ordered to destroy all rogue ships regardless of civilians. Ramirez convinced their leaders to coordinate with humanity, explaining that a combined, intelligent approach would save more lives and reduce unnecessary destruction. It was a delicate balance. Trust had to be built quickly between species who had previously regarded each other with suspicion. Humanity had no armies, no coercion, only persuasion, logic, and the willingness to act. Slowly, the alien leaders began to cooperate. Dr. Ahmed monitored the rogue AI's network. "It's adapting to our moves," he said. "We need a way to outthink it, not overpower it. If we can predict its pattern before it reacts, we can neutralize it without destruction." Using advanced predictive modeling, humanity identified a weak point in the AI's coordination system. Small specialized drones were deployed to infiltrate the rogue network, introduce adaptive algorithms, and gradually bring the AI under control. The operation was tense. One wrong move could provoke the AI into attacking civilian populations. Pilots hovered near orbital stations, engineers calculated every trajectory, and diplomats kept alien fleets aligned with the plan. Every human action was precise yet creative, constantly adapting to the AI's unpredictable behavior. Hours passed like minutes. The humans' coordination and ingenuity began to show results. Rogue ships stopped attacking settlements and began following human guidance. The AI, now influenced by human-adapted algorithms, became controllable. Humanity had neutralized the threat without unnecessary destruction. Coalition observers were stunned. A species considered minor had not only survived trials and saved lives, but had solved a crisis that could have destroyed entire civilizations. Humans had acted with intelligence, creativity, and moral clarity. They had shown diplomacy, strategy, and adaptability, all at once. On the Pioneer, Ambassador Ramirez addressed the fleet. "We have done what many thought impossible. We protected life, neutralized the threat, and united civilizations. This is what it means to be human. Not power, not weapons, but courage, ingenuity, and care for others." Captain Lin smiled. "The galaxy is learning a new definition of strength. We have shown them that humans think, adapt, and lead with purpose." Back on Earth, news broadcasts filled the air with reports of humanity's success. People celebrated quietly, knowing that every victory was a step toward a new place in the galaxy. Humanity had not only survived the Coalition's challenges, they had reshaped expectations. The Coalition, initially skeptical, began to acknowledge humanity's accomplishments. Discussions among their leaders became intense. Some argued that humans could not be ignored. Others cautioned that this species was unpredictable and therefore potentially dangerous. One alien commander spoke in pulses of light across the communication network. Humans had begun to interpret the signals. They do not follow fear. They create solutions. Their morality is strong. They are remarkable. This recognition was significant. Humanity had not just answered challenges. They had forced the Coalition to reconsider what strength meant. power was no longer about fleets or weapons alone. Strategy, creativity, moral clarity, and the ability to unite others were equally, if not more, important. Human engineers did not stop at neutralizing the AI. They worked with alien scientists to repair damaged stations, restore energy systems, and stabilize ecosystems. Pilots transported refugees safely to nearby planets, demonstrating speed, efficiency, and care. Every success reinforced humanity's reputation as a species of ingenuity and compassion. Yet Ambassador Ramirez knew that the coalition would continue to test them. Challenges would grow more difficult, stakes higher, and expectations even greater. But humanity had proven a critical lesson. Fear was not required for survival, and cooperation could achieve results that brute force never could. In private, Ramirez and Dr. Ahmed reviewed the operation. "We have set a precedent," Ahmed said. "The galaxy now knows that humans do not bow to power. They think, adapt, and care. That is our true tribute," Ramirez nodded. "And the next trial will be even harder. But we have learned something more important than any technology. Humanity's greatest strength is our spirit. Our courage, ingenuity, and unity will guide us through any challenge." As the fleet prepared to leave the Orion sector, the stars seemed to shine differently. Humanity's actions had not only saved lives, they had inspired civilizations and forced the coalition to rethink assumptions. Across the galaxy, whispers spread. Stories of humans solving impossible problems, saving millions, and uniting species traveled faster than any transmission. The galaxy had seen something new, something unexpected. A young species that could challenge expectations not through domination, but through intelligence, courage, and morality. The turning point was clear. Humanity was no longer just a minor species. They were a force of innovation, a beacon of hope, and a living example of what young civilizations could achieve. Captain Lin looked out from the Pioneer's bridge. "We have changed their perspective," she said. "But the journey is far from over. The coalition will continue to test us. The galaxy will continue to watch. And we will continue to answer, with intelligence, courage, and unity." Ambassador Ramirez smiled faintly. "Yes, and one day the galaxy will understand that true strength is not in submission, not in fear, but in creativity, courage, and care for all life." That is humanity's legacy. The fleet moved forward, ready for the next challenge. The coalition had begun to respect humanity, but respect would not stop the trials. Challenges would become greater, dangers more extreme, and expectations higher. But humanity had learned a critical truth. In the galaxy, ingenuity and moral clarity could shine brighter than weapons. As the stars stretched endlessly around them, humanity sailed onward. They had faced trials of diplomacy, strategy, and moral judgment, and they had excelled. The galaxy had witnessed something extraordinary, and humanity knew that their greatest challenges were still ahead. But one thing was certain: the turning point had come. Humanity's answer had shaken the stars. The coalition and the galaxy at large would never see a young species the same way again. The galaxy had watched humanity for months. The young species from Earth had survived challenges, demonstrated ingenuity, and even saved countless lives in situations no one thought they could handle. The coalition had expected fear and submission, but instead they had witnessed creativity, courage, and moral clarity. Now, the final stage awaited. The coalition sent a message directly to Earth's command centers and orbiting fleets. Humanity of Earth. You have survived the trials of merit and the crucible of diplomacy. One final challenge remains. A Galactic Council session is convened. Your presence is required. Your performance will determine your place in the galaxy. Ambassador Ramirez stood before the United Nations Space Council, addressing representatives from every nation on Earth. Her expression was calm but determined. "This is the moment we have been preparing for," she said. "The Council expects evaluation, but we do not go to ask for acceptance. We go to show that humanity has already earned its place. Not through fear, tribute, or submission, but through intelligence, courage, and morality. This is our answer to the galaxy." Dr. Ahmed and Captain Lin nodded in agreement. Every human aboard the Pioneer and allied vessels knew the importance of this moment. Humanity had proven themselves in challenges, trials, and crises, but now they would present their philosophy to the galaxy. The fleet moved to the designated meeting space, a massive neutral zone near a cluster of stable star systems. The Coalition's council members arrived first, massive vessels filled with representatives from countless species. They glowed, shimmered, and communicated in forms humans were only beginning to understand. Their expectation was clear. Humanity would either submit or fail. Ambassador Ramirez and her team activated the communication holograms. Humanity appeared not as individuals but as a unified species. Leaders, scientists, pilots, engineers, and citizens. The message was deliberate. Humans acted together as one. Representatives of the Galactic Coalition and council members from across the galaxy, Ramirez began, her voice calm and strong. We have faced your challenges. We have navigated trials, protected life, solved complex problems, and coordinated with civilizations under threat. Humanity does not offer tribute. Humanity does not bow. Humanity offers something far greater, our mind, our spirit, and our willingness to create solutions where others see only obstacles. The council members paused, their light and energy pulses slowing as they processed her words. This was not a demand. It was a declaration of value, a gift of insight into the human way. The first display came from Earth's engineers and scientists. They demonstrated technologies that the Coalition had only theorized: quantum communication across light years, autonomous fleets that could learn and adapt, and energy shields that could protect planets without consuming massive resources. They showed solutions to problems the galaxy had thought unsolvable. Pilots demonstrated maneuvering through dangerous star systems, rescuing simulated populations, and coordinating resources across multiple planets. Every demonstration emphasized one principle: humans think, adapt, and act for the greater good, not for domination. Next, Ambassador Ramirez addressed diplomacy. Humanity shared lessons learned in the crucible of diplomacy, showing how cooperation, negotiation, and moral clarity could resolve crises better than brute force. They displayed the unity achieved between humans and previously hostile alien species, highlighting that collaboration, not conquest, strengthened civilizations. One by one, human achievements unfolded. Observers from older species began to shift. Initial skepticism faded into curiosity, then admiration. They had seen young species survive. They had seen humans innovate under pressure. And now, they were seeing a philosophy that challenged the galaxy's understanding of power. Dr. Ahmed presented humanity's final demonstration, a simulation of potential crises, showing how humans would handle threats ethically, efficiently, and with creativity. Every scenario emphasized minimizing harm, maximizing survival, and achieving sustainable solutions. The message was clear. Humans were capable of leadership without tyranny. One council member, a species whose representatives resembled immense, glowing crystalline beings, emitted a pulse of light, a signal humans had learned to interpret as approval. Another, a massive aquatic species, radiated energy that indicated surprise and recognition. Slowly, the galaxy began to acknowledge that humans were exceptional, not just because they survived, but because they thought differently. Ambassador Ramirez concluded the session. We do not seek power through fear. We do not demand submission. Humanity's answer is this: intelligence, courage, morality, and unity. This is our tribute to the galaxy. This is how we contribute to the future of all civilizations. Silence followed. For the first time, the galaxy had no words of judgment or expectation. It had only recognition. Humanity's answer was complete. Then, one by one, council members signaled approval. The galaxy had witnessed something new. A species that refused to bow, yet had earned respect not through force but through ingenuity, collaboration, and ethical action. Coalition leaders, initially cautious and wary, sent a direct transmission to Ambassador Ramirez. You have exceeded our expectations. Humanity is unlike any species we have encountered. We recognize your value not through tribute but through contribution. Earth and its people are now welcome as full members of the galactic community, not as followers but as partners. A cheer spread through the human fleet and Earth's command centers. Humanity had done the impossible. They had reshaped the galaxy's perception of young species. Captain Lynn smiled as she looked at her crew. We've come a long way. But remember, this is not the end. This is the beginning. The galaxy has seen our strength, and now it will expect innovation, courage, and ethical action from us in every corner of space. Dr. Ahmed added, we have proven that intelligence and morality can outshine weapons and fear. This is the legacy we carry forward. Back on Earth, people celebrated quietly but meaningfully. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy, nor had they subjugated any species. Instead, they had changed how the galaxy understood power, respect, and value. The first Interstellar Council meeting with humanity present became a historic moment. Humans proposed ideas, shared insights, and coordinated with other civilizations to prevent future crises. Their approach was methodical, thoughtful, and inspiring. Ambassador Ramirez addressed the Council again. We will continue to explore, learn, and contribute. Our place in the galaxy is not because we submitted, nor because we conquered. It is because we have demonstrated what humanity stands for: creativity, courage, and care for all life. This is our gift to the stars. Observers from other civilizations began to spread the stories of humanity across the galaxy. Tales of human courage, ingenuity, and moral clarity traveled faster than any transmission. Young species looked to Earth as an example. Older species began to reconsider how they judged others. The galaxy had asked for tribute, expecting fear and submission. Humanity had answered with something entirely unexpected: intelligence, creativity, and moral clarity. Their answer shook the stars, not with destruction but with possibility. The human fleet returned to Earth orbit as heroes, but not in the way of warriors. They were celebrated as thinkers, innovators, and leaders. Humanity had proven that strength was not measured by weapons, fleets, or obedience, but by the courage to act, the creativity to solve problems, and the morality to protect life. Ambassador Ramirez, standing on the bridge of the Pioneer, looked at the stars. We have answered the galaxy, and now we have a responsibility. A responsibility to continue exploring, learning, and leading with courage and integrity. The galaxy will expect much from us, and we must rise to meet it. Captain Lin joined her, gazing at the expanse of space. We have changed the rules. The galaxy will never see a young species the same way again. Humanity is no longer just observers. We are contributors, leaders, and partners, Dr. Ahmed smiled. And this is just the beginning. Our innovations, our courage, and our care for life will shape the future. The galaxy asked for tribute, but we gave them something far greater: ourselves. Humanity had faced trials that tested ingenuity, strategy, and morality. They had navigated crises, solved impossible problems, and united species that had once been divided. They had shown that intelligence, courage, and ethics could triumph over fear and expectation. The stars above the solar system shimmered with a new understanding. Earth, a small blue planet, had become a symbol of hope, ingenuity, and moral clarity. Humanity had answered the galaxy, and the answer would echo across the stars for generations to come. The galaxy had asked for tribute. Humanity's answer was not gold, not resources, not obedience. It was far greater. Humanity had answered with intelligence, courage, and morality. Humanity had answered with themselves.